Good morning, everybody. Crypto Strain here. I'm going to talk about OMI. Now, I mentioned this on the previous video. I know I've been talking a lot about NFTs lately. I've mentioned many tokens. We've had some fantastic returns. This is not financial advice, this video, but I think OMI, the way I'm looking more and more into it, is the one that's sticking above all the rest. Now, I've done some, fantastic returns. I think are rareable. I'm still very bullish on all those other tokens, especially Rare. It's done me absolutely fantastic, under $2 to over $30 at one point. Talk about TVK, we talk about loads and loads of projects, and they've got excellent potential this year to be huge. And as I said before, I think NFTs could be the main hype of this year in crypto. We saw it at the DeFi last year, which obviously is continuing to this year, but NFTs up and coming. 6 months ago, I was quite sceptical about why would people pay so much money for NFTs. Now, so I mentioned OMI recently, and the more I've looked into it over the last week or so, the more I'm actually realising the full potential for OMI. Last time I was quite sceptical about the fact that it's such a max supply, so huge, 750 billion. But now I've looked into it more, I can see how that's reflected in the price and how the future development and what actually that means. So ECOMI, OMI, I say at the moment it's 0.002. And it's actually gone up 7% in the last 24 hours. Its all-time low was actually February 17th when it was 0.004. Its all-time high was basically there. It was 0.003 on the February the 21st. So it's actually had like a 400% pump, in February alone. So it's doing fantastic. The thing that's sort of holding it back at the moment, when you thought about mainstream adoption with the rest of it, is only on one exchange. That's BITFOREX, which is a decent exchange. It's obviously not one of the big ones, shall we say. And it will be going on Uniswap in the first quarter. So that'll be on very soon. But obviously needs to get on some more exchanges. But as it develops, but you can really see the full potential of OMI when you read more in depth into it. So you actually go on ECOMI.com, and it states there, VV is an app-based marketplace for premium licensed digital collectibles. With VV, users can obtain common, rare, or one-of-a-kind digital collectibles, customise and showcase them in a virtual showrooms. Now, when you go and see what all the licenses they've got, then you fully understand that, yep, there's some other wonderful projects out there, but I think this does, again, it's just my personal opinion, has a potential to sort of rise above all the rest. I say that's just my personal opinion. I think it does have the potential to dominate the NFT space with all their plans. It's basically getting all the best license deals in all of crypto. It's absolutely so much, and there is a case for investing in OMI, but it's entirely up to you. You've got to do your own. It's not financial advice. You've got to do your own research. A lot of attention has been in the NFT market. We sort of see likes of Flow, which is another wonderful project. Between Flow and ECOMI, I think you could have like two of them going head to head. But then you've got Rarible, as I say. So no one knows who's going to be the #1 NFT token, the #1 site, the #1 app. No one knows that. But the ones that are sort of, to me, are coming up the parapet and looking really good are these sort of like this, ECOMI. So now, basically, it's secured, I say, the most licenses for branded digital collectibles so far. When you think of like hit movie franchise, got like Back to the Future, Fast and Furious, Jurassic Park. But then it's also got like the cartoons, where it's got like the Powerpuff Girls, and it's got like the TV shows like Star Trek, Ultraman. The person ever gets the NFT for Star Wars? Can you imagine what that would do to a project? But when it's already got like the comics, we talk about Superman, Batman, the Joker, the Ghostbusters, the video games, the Street Fighter, and all that, you can see it's getting more and more licenses all the time. So we go on their white paper, and I'll put the link below, but you scroll through, it's quite a long read, but you can see everything they've got planning. The overview, the technology, onboarding, the token, the pricing, and you go through all of it, and you can see OMI Collect overview, secure wallet overview, the Metcalfe effect, which is basically the platform target the mass market. Metcalfe's law, which states the value of a network is proportional to the square of the number of connected users of the system, will play a role in growth of the user base. Why the blockchain, the NFT, talks about what the NFTs are. It states the OMI tokens. In order to facilitate the purchase and trade of digital collectibles, ECOMI Collect utilises the OMI token. There will only be 750 billion, it says only, but minted, and these are purchased during the ICO for the ECOMI Collect app or on exchange. So, talk about scarcity. ECOMI Collect digital collectibles are released in a limited number of batches called series. A series may, for example, have 10,000 digital collectibles. Within the series, digital collectibles are divided across 5 rarity categories, which is excellent. The common represents 62% of the total, the secret rare represents 1%, the blockchain NFT standards used to generate these limited number of digital assets. Counterfeit protection, ECOMI Collect, talk about all that part of it. It states there, currently the virtual goods market is valued at $80 billion annually, expected to grow to $100 billion in the next 2 to 3 years. So it gives a lot of general overviews, talks about the minting, the generation. It's just so much information on there. It really gives very transparent on their future plans. But it also states there the token, the underlying economy of ECOMI collect is the OMI token. So you've really got to appreciate what's going on with this project. It states here, this is their official post on Medium, getting started with the OMI tokens, metrics and details. It scrolls through there. Now this is the bit that was quite interesting. I say total supply 750 billion, which I thought was actually a massive amount, obviously. But when you scroll through it and you actually see it, so sales of the OMI token, all to raise funds and beginning building VV, the OMI token was sold in a private pre-sale round and to public for initial exchange offering IEO on BITFOREX. So that's the exchange they've been with basically since the start. And the hard cap basically raised 1,500 Bitcoin, which at the time, as they state there, was valued about $67,000. And obviously that's worth a lot more now. It's about $55,000 each. It also states here, 20% of the total token supply was made available during the sales, or 150 billion OMI tokens. So that was made. Now, token distribution allocations, so it states there, the current circulating supply is 110 billion. With the design of the VV tokenomic system, an additional 40% or 300 billion OMI tokens are held in the app reserve, most of which will never enter the circulating supply. So where before I was quite critical of the fact you look at the price, normally get a project with such a huge amount of supply, then you expect the price to be like 0.000 and about 7 different, in a cent, but this is basically because 300 billion are held in that reserve. So you've got there, VV Reserve Wallet, 300 billion, the Vault Wallet, 40 billion. Business Development Long-Term Initiative, 20% or 150 billion OMI. Similar to what other projects done. We've talked about, like for energy, they release so much energy a month for the Treasury to invest in NRG, and this is probably a similar sort of thing. They can keep developing. And obviously, it's very expensive to get all these licenses, I'd imagine. The team advisors, board members, 20% or 150 billion. So when you think 750 billion, you start narrowing it down to Reserve Wallet, the Vault Wallet, the business development, what they're using for future development, and the team advisors, the board members, the people who started it, how much they're getting, another 20%. You can see that the supply is coming down a lot. So it states here, the OMI token is a GO20 token. That is to say it's built on the GoChain blockchain. There's a lot of information, and as you scroll through, that was an eye-opener for me. I read that on Medium. Perhaps I should have read that before. To be honest, I had a better understanding of the OMI when I briefly mentioned it before. I should have gone in more in depth, let's be honest. But go on their official website, vv.me. You could just scroll through and you see everything that's going on. Digital in the real world, augmented reality. You can get also the virtual showrooms. You get on Google Play and the App Store. And basically says there, no matter your fandom, VV has you covered. There's so much going on. As I talk about all the other things going on. It's an excellent website. You scroll through it, and I just think as they get so many licenses for all these major things we've all grown up with, all the big sports stars, the film stars, it's actually the cartoons, etc. Who knows? One thing I did notice, it's not much on this side, but it's a massive NFT event in New York, October this year. Hopefully it'll be allowed to happen. I think we're slowly coming out of the pandemic, but that would be an incredible event. Now the guy who runs OMI, he will actually be on it. A guy called Andy is actually going to be at that event. So it'd be interesting to see who speaks at this event, because it's obviously got a lot of potential. And we saw, as I said, 6 months ago, there wasn't a huge amount of projects purely for NFTs. Now it's a massive market, and every single week we seem to get more tokens. Even I've been looking at again in the last few days, and I found another 4 tokens which look like they've got great potential. But I've said I've done 2 dedicated videos recently on tokens I'm following, and I think at the moment I'm going to concentrate on OMI. I'm going to get some more TVK as well. I really like that project. I'm going to get some more Luxo, LYXE, and I've mentioned many others that I'll be getting. It's not just those ones. I've spoken about all the ones that I've got this month already, but there's so much going on in the space. But I think I'm just going to concentrate on OMI personally for the next few weeks with my NFTs. Now, this guy, Alfred Khan, he's the head of global licensing at ECOMI. Massive, background, he's their head of licensing, other than he's basically the man who brought Pokemon to the world outside of Japan. So it states there, in the past week, ECOMI has released some of the biggest news in licensing this year. Alfred Khan, whose properties are responsible for more than 25 billion retail revenue, has just become the head of global licensing. That is incredible. To get this guy on board shows this again what really stuck out for me, what it reads. And as they've developed, this was sort of in the early stages of ECOMI, and as they've gone through the initial coin offering stage, and now they're actually developing, to get this guy on board at the start who saw the potential and what they're actually developing is incredible. You imagine a guy like this wouldn't actually get started till it was established, It's got all his previous history, and it states here he's recognised industry lead and licensed in heavyweight. His company 4Kids Entertainment, which you've probably all heard about, was responsible for some of the biggest releases in licensing history. As I said, mentioned Pokemon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Polly Pockets, to name a few. So he's incredible. Now, on the stage here, again, was interesting. On top of these amazing accolades, Alfred also developed licensing, marketing, and brand development programs for other iconic international brands, including Nintendo, Mario Bros, James Bond, World Wrestling Federation, Monster Jam, and Xbox. So he really is a heavyweight in the licensing division, and the fact that ECOMI got him on board so early, again, speaks volumes to me. So again, let's talk about licenses. It's just a quick video basically on OMI, but I'd like to get one of the leaders on the channel. Perhaps I should reach out today and try and get someone to come on and explain more in depth than I am how they're developing. Again, so this was news last year when they talked about the licensing announcement. So again, if I'd known about this a long time ago, you can see that development got even earlier. It's had a massive pump this month alone. I think it will continuously develop. Now I understand about the tokens and the supply. And originally I thought, wow, that's a huge, huge amount. We think of prices, you think, wow, to get to $1, it needs to be a 750 market cap. Be number 2 in the charts, it'd be approaching Bitcoin. But then I've realised the sort of one was held in reserve and for the owners, etc. So again, open your eyes up to the project, you can really see it. So even like this time ago, like a long time ago, so about a year ago, 5 global licensing Alpha Vs, to think they've gotten all these at that time was just incredible. You can see the potential. It's similar to like Flow as well. I mentioned Flow a few times, and between the pair of them, I think they really are going to have a lot of competition. But as I say, it's not just these two. Rarible, I think their exchange is fantastic, but there's a lot going on. So this is all about different license agreements. So anyway, so I just want to give a quick video really. So I've mentioned it briefly on the last video. I've looked in more depth the last few days, and I say it's ranked 2,417 at the moment because there's no markup. I've read some various bits on Reddit, etc., that they think the markup at the moment is only 10 million. Now, if that's true, then it's got absolutely massive potential. But you look at the volume in the last 24 hours, approaching 5 million, up 30%. The coin, even I'm doing this video, is basically, it's not far off its all-time high, the way we're getting. It was just over 0.003, and now we're basically getting there again. So, again, it's not financial advice, up to you. But OMI does put me personally look like it's one that's going to possibly be the #1 NFT token on NFT sites, purely because of their licensing and their plans, and now they're developing. But time will tell. It'd be great to hear some other NFT tokens. They're coming out constantly at the moment. I'm sure there's some real gems coming out all the time. It'd be great to hear some comments below on what people are buying. As usual, email me info@cryptostrain.com if you want any assistance. Social media links are below. Thanks for listening. We'll do another video soon. Thanks very much. Have a good day. Cheers. Bye.